invite Black Women Rock Committee and Empowerment President Cindy Beasley and Vice President Brittany Darby.
As you know, I'm Cindy Beasley. And I'm Brittany Darby. And we are here to present the Black Women Rock Award. The Black Women Rock Award is the highest award given here tonight. It is given to a woman that embodies the characteristics of every other award, plus more. She is a humanitarian, an inspiration to all of those around her, a great motivator, beyond gifted in soul. Mrs. Janice Mitchell is our Mrs. Janice Mitchell is our 2018 Black Women Rock Award recipient. Mrs. Mitchell relocated to Urbana in 1988 after receiving her Master of Arts degree from the University of Chicago, the School of Social Service Administration. Since then, she has started her own business, Mitchell's Sweet Creations, taking great passion in working with and improving the youth in the community. And last but not least, founded and currently directs the Urbana Neighborhood Connection Center. With the help of others, she transformed an old unused warehouse into a vibrant human service facility.
To live life at its fullest and to give thanks to Him for all things. I draw great strength from my husband of 27 years, Danny, and our two children, Janice and Everett, who has served as a motivator throughout the many years. As I look over my 52 years on this earth, I know that God has gifted me with the ability to reach out and to connect with those people who are most in need. Therefore, as I thank the members of the Black Women's Rock Awards Committee for such an honorable nomination, I also know that I will continue along this journey, knowing that as long as I'm able to help someone, then my living will not be in vain. Serve as a great source of inspiration to live life at its fullest.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a hearty welcome for our 2015 Black Women Rock Award recipient, Mrs. Janice Mitchell.
First of all, I just have to give all thanks, honor, glory to my Heavenly Father, because without Him in my life, all that you read, all that's mentioned here, none of it would be possible. I want to just thank the committee of the Black Women's Rock Award just for seeing what you saw in me and the works that I do, and believing enough that you felt enough to honor me. Now, you all can tell that I'm kind of nervous. People who know me know that I talk a lot. However, I am not one of those formal speakers and getting up in front of people. I am one of those people, however, who work. I try to do my best. I try to give my best. I asked them to please ask Sierra to come out because my family, who's here now, my friends that are close to me, they always tell me, Janice, you need to settle down. You need to stop. Take some time for yourself. Girl, you gotta rest a minute. So when Sierra sent me the email, in all honesty, I thought it was a joke. You know, people always get your email address and then they send you this stuff. And I thought of the Black Women Rock, the Black Girls Rock, and I'm like, you know, who's got my email and why are they doing this? So I just kind of put it, you know, to the side and left it in there. And then I saw another one that said, well, we're sorry you missed the pictures and everything. And I'm like, oh my God, is this for real? So, you know, the next thing you start thinking like, okay, well, the campus is large and I don't really know, you know, I don't want to just show up someplace. So Marissa, who's here, amongst many of the U of I African American students, I called Marissa because I saw her name on there, and I asked Marissa about it. She said, Miss Mitchell, did you miss that? It really is for real, and you got to go take care of that. I was like, okay, Marissa. So I want to thank you, Sierra, because with all my delays and everything, you were very patient, and I am one of those people at 3 o'clock in the morning, you all, I am up working. So thank you very much for just your patience and your professionalism and time with me. Thank you. Just to my wonderful family, and we mentioned them on the video, to all of, my friends, my church family that I actually told. I didn't tell a lot of people who know me know again. I am one who reach out, who help all the time. I am not one who stands in the limelight, in the spotlight. But I'm grateful for those people who stand behind me. You heard about the Urbana Neighborhood Connection Center, which we did transform a building, a warehouse that was full of stuff from the floor up, into what is known now as Urbana Neighborhood Connection Center. And what it does is a place where not only I'm able to help many of our children and families from our community, but many of our University of Illinois African American students have come through that center and helping out the children that I'm reaching out to. Just a few, like I mentioned, Marissa, she's down here now. Alexis, Michael was here on stage. There just been many of our students, and I'm always grateful when our students cross those streets over there and come out into the community to help our children and give back. Because so often we do hear that the Black students at the campus just stay on the campus. And as you've heard today, we have many places that they help our youth, the Boys and Girls Club, Big Brothers, Big Sisters. I'm just blessed to be able to have another site that some of our students can come to. I will tell you that when I think about inspiration, one of the things that I do know is that over my 52 years that God has allowed me to be on this earth, I often think back to plantation. Plantation is more than a word in the dictionary for me. It's more than a word in the history book that most people read about for me. Because it is the place where I learned in later years that I was born. And although you think about, how can somebody who was born on a plantation be standing up here in front of us now? Well, I got a real history lesson on from birth to maybe about a year or so, 2 years ago, in terms of my background. So when I think about us talking about history, I am one who can tell you that I have no choice but to give back. I have no choice but to try to be an inspiration and motivation to others, because I am one who can remember the first bathtub that we got in my house that had running water. When we have Black history inventions and they bring out the rug board, it wasn't just an invention, it was something I used. It was the rug board that I used before we put the clothes through the ringer top wash machine. When I stop and I think about my first job, it was taking care of some of those same white kids in those white homes that my mom did. You know, my mom picked cotton for a living. She raised 8 children. And I'm blessed to be 2 of the 8 that had a high school education, but the only one to receive a college degree and then went on for a master's degree. Thank you. And I know with many of the young people sitting here, it probably would be hard to picture someone who would say, what did it look like when all I knew is that I wanted to be successful? Didn't know how I was going to get there because, again, 8 kids, we were what you would consider that low income, and actually I want to say almost no income because I couldn't figure out why on FAFSA every year they wanted my mom's income tax information. When she chopped cotton and washed clothes for white folks, she didn't have income tax information. But I still had to come up with something, and you learn, and you want to get beyond that point. I heard a couple of the young ladies speak of self-determination. Well, self-determination for me, along with faith in God and knowing that if I just continue to go higher, that the night that I left my mother's house, headed off to Southern University in Baton Rouge, I always remember that my mother said to me, Janice Marie, I want you to do well, and I always want you to take God along with you wherever you go. Remember, everybody you meet will not mean well, won't be your friends, but you treat people with respect. She said, Janice, I don't have anything to give you. I don't have money to give you. Well, as a young person back then, you know what I thought? Okay, well, let me go because my ride waiting and I got to get on off to college now. But, you know, it came to light because by the time I graduated from Southern University, my mother had sent me $10 over those whole 4 years. But I worked day and night, after class, before class, the catering company, the gas station from the school. I did what I had to do so I could make certain that I had money to go back to school. So I say that to say, when you want something bad enough, when you know that you want to move beyond where you're at then. Someone said earlier, don't let others define you, don't let others limit you. You do what you have to do so that you can be successful, so that you can make a good life for yourself. The University of Chicago, for me, yeah, that was prestige. It really was. But I'm going to be honest with you, being a black girl coming up from Louisiana, for me, what it was a blessing. It was a blessing because I was on that campus, around in that area before I had to have people tell me, don't you know where you're at? And I'm thinking, yep, University of Chicago. And not everybody get there. Well, yeah, I did. But Professor Dodie Norton, and probably as old as I get, I will always remember the point in life. What was one of those turning points was sitting in a family and social development class for me back in 88, 89, hearing a non-African American or white girl say, wow, they have expectations. They have potential. She was so sincere about it. And I was so sincere about trying to figure out, girl, who you think you are to sit up here and say that? For me to hear the words, you can read about it all you want. But when you're sitting in the presence of someone and you worked as hard as they worked and probably harder to get where you're at, to hear somebody say, wow, they have goals, they have expectation, and Professor Dodie Norton, Lord bless her sweet soul, she had to talk to me after class because I was a firm believer then, I'm a firm believer now. You work hard at what you want, you will get where you're trying to go. I have 2 children. With both of my children, I teach them respect. We've taught them to value life. We've raised them, thanks to my husband, with God in their life. And we hope it doesn't depart. But I will tell you, the thing that I tell my children and many of the U of I students that I come in contact with, jokingly or not, you do not limit yourself. If you're going to get a degree in education because you're going to be a teacher, when you go in that classroom, you give it all you have because one day you look at being the principal and the next one the superintendent and then you move on up to the state. You don't go in. But I also tell those who are not going to college, if you want to work on cars, you try to figure out how you're going to earn and build your own auto mechanics business. You don't just stay where you're at. You constantly seek improvement. So as I thank the women of the Black Women's Rock Awards Committee, it is indeed an honor. The young lady said it earlier that she really couldn't see a lot of people, but I know that this place is packed. It is indeed an honor and a blessing, again, that I'm able to stand here and accept this award, and I give all the honor and the glory to God.